And we are back with the Bayou Dragons podcast. It is episode 17. Per usual, it is going to be me and Mitchell McCall. And we have two very special guests that we will be getting to in here shortly. Before we get into introducing them, and some of y'all might actually recognize the guy to my right because he gets that motherfucking muddy. We're going to give out a couple of shout-outs to some people that sponsor us and we do with, and Snuff Cup Spittoons. Great product. Actually, do we have the Snuff Cup Spittoon? Give me that one right there. Machine washable. You can take off the bottom, put a can of Copenhagen in it, open, spit, done. Then we'd like to give a shout out to Miller Lite because it will quench your thirst. Drink Miller Lite, and if you don't, fuck you. All right. Anyway, so let's get into the podcast. So to my right, a reoccurring guest, Rance May.
Rance May.
Howdy.
You were on our
Rance
podcast.
May.
Howdy.
You were on like podcast number 12, 13. I don't know. I can't read.
The Rance May.
The Rance May. Rance May Music. Some of y'all have been requesting for him to come back. A bunch of y'all have been quoting him.
Gator Hunter Extraordinaire.
Gator Hunter Extraordinaire. And then
Beast.
to the right of Rance May,
I'm back.
Casey Hedges. He is a entrepreneur.
Bum.
He is a local legend, and we're going to sit down and talk to him and figure out, what are you about? And that's going to be this whole podcast. And we're going to have a few cold snacks. So, Casey, I would like for you to introduce yourself. I'd like for you to, where'd you grow up? How old are you? You know, the whole 9 yards. Just kind of, if you were going to meet somebody, be like, yo, what'd it do?
Nah, I appreciate y'all coming out. Good.
Yeah. You made us drive a long ways.
I
had to drive like 28 miles.
And we waited till after Sky's volleyball game.
Yeah, I know. And it was fine.
Appreciate that.
You're good. You're good. We had margaritas at Tia Juanita's.
Right.
With Larry Trade Day.
Yeah, well, actually, we met Miss. Dude, hey, this old man sits down, old as dirt, and Mitchell goes, I bet that's Larry. That old
his shirt said it was labeled Larry, old time trade. I was like, that's got to be Larry himself, you know?
And I was in there every day.
So I was like, I'm going to go meet him. I sat down and was like, I assume your name's Larry. And he's like, it is Larry on Larry's Trade Days. I was like, well, I'm Porter with the Bayou Dragons. I know you don't know who we are. I want to start selling stuff at your place. Like, he was a good old man. Good old man. No eyebrows, but good old man.
Right.
But anyway, sorry, Casey. We kind of
got into my time right
we
there.
got into your time.
I
dude.
see that.
Dude, I'm going to try to cut as much as I can.
So let's hear what you're about, Casey. We're sitting here at this table. It's covered in gator hide. We got a gator head right here, and then a beautiful 13 what? 10-foot full body mount gator sitting behind us. I know you can see it. Tell us what you're about, man, kind of what you do and how you got started into the gator world.
Man, I'll tell you what, I just really everything that we do here was pretty much what Mark Porter did. Mark Porter kind of frontiered everything that we do. You know, he started in when it was, he was a trapper. When the season opened up, he started, trapping. Then he started skinning about 2 or 3 years into it, and pretty much built it to what it is today. The hide market has declined, but we're doing custom skinning, and we scrape and send the hides to American Tanning and Leather. But pretty much just following it, Mark's game plan. But as far as how I got into it, well, back when I was probably 10 years old, I started helping Mark out at the Gator Fest. And the hide market was really good back then because they just had opened the season. So when the season opened, it had been closed for 50 years. So once the season opened, you know, the higher end retailers were wanting American alligator, you know. So it drove the price up. And then Mark being pretty much the first one to really buy in Texas against his competitors. There was a few competitors back then, but there got to be like a bidding war on the price per foot of an alligator. So once, you know, Mark kind of established itself and the Gator Fest coming online and different things that pretty much put Mark in position to be the buyer of Texas. And I started helping Mark at Gator Fest when I was probably 10 years old, and I helped him till I was 18. But back then we were taking in probably, well, at one time we were taking alligators 8 foot and down. We were taking them and putting them in a cooler, like a freezer box, and then we were taking everything 8 foot and over out here to the shop. And it was stacked up, you know, as far as gators go. But the hide market has kind of changed as far as alligators go, so it has gone down as far as like how many trappers are trapping. But you know, the more the guided hunts have kind of come into play. And over the years, the Gator Fest and everything has slowed down. But when I got into it, you know, I was probably, me and Mark kind of fell apart a little bit from the time I was 18 to the time I was, I don't know, Lindsay, I was maybe 30, you know, whatever. But me and Mark started talking again, and you know, Mark's ready to retire. So I followed Mark for probably, well, since 2018, followed him around, you know, came out here and kind of learned the business. But, you know, it takes that long to figure it out because it's a niche business. But
yeah, so let's break down a few things. So Mark Porter, who he keeps referring to, that is actually my uncle. He was one of the first alligator processors in the state of Texas after they re-legalized alligators being hunted in Texas. He does the skinning of the meat, hides, all that. He brought that back. Casey came in at a very young age, 10, because how old are you now? Casey, 60, 70 years old. How old are you?
74 and
74, 74 and a half.
And a half.
So you look very good for your age.
Oh,
but,
damn.
So Mark started this business. Casey has bought into this business of alligators, and that is what we're that's the topic we're on. I'm just trying to break up because you kept referring to Mark, and people are going to be like, "Who the hell's Mark Porter?
Yeah.
What is
no,
Porter's?
No, yeah.
Who's
He's
Porter's processing?"
the guy that started it all, and
Yeah.
just introducing how I got into it.
Yeah. No, you're good on that. I'm not trying to. I'm just saying Porter's processing started out with my next of kin. I'm wearing.
Oh no, he's the nephew, cherished.
Cherished,
Definitely
nephew. Definitely cherished, and thoroughly cherished. And I mean, I've done the roundup for years, and that's how I met you.
I did it before you.
Yeah, you did it before me because you're old as shit, dude. So you should have been doing it before me. But I mean, I'm glad that I was able to meet. That's how I met you, through that.
Right.
You've known Rance for a lot longer.
Me and Rance were roommates at one time.
Yeah.
We don't talk about it much, but
Well, I mean, we can talk. We have unlimited time. I mean, how did y'all meet? Before we even get deeper into the process, I mean, we'll go off track. How did you and Rance meet? I mean,
without incriminating ourselves.
yeah, without incriminating ourselves, because we do have probably.
Nah, I mean, just we grew up together.
Anahuac, Texas.
Anahuac, Texas, dude.
And then y'all went to college together?
No.
School of Hard Knocks.
We went to the School of Hard Knocks for sure. We went to work together.
Started shaving around the same age.
Yeah.
Well, I wasn't smart enough to get into college, for one.
So that's why you went into the gator business.
That's right. You just got to be willing to work.
Yeah. I think that's what we're all about, willing to work. But I wasn't trying to get you too off topic. I just wanted to, one of the main subjects that you...
And to be real about it, like, and just, all jokes aside and everything, like, I want to make sure that everybody knows that, where we are today, really and honestly, we're growing the business. We're trying to do more and stuff like that. I just want to make sure Mark Porter is recognized for what he's done for alligators in the state of Texas.
Oh yeah, and we're gonna
That's
have
it.
we're gonna have him on, and we were supposed to already have him on, but other shits came up, and like I actually plan on having him on this next Saturday. So if anyone that is listening to it, that's always a reoccurring question, or just when we're doing TikTok lives or whatever, it's like, when's the next podcast? Who's the next podcast? Like today, I did a TikTok live. We had like a couple of thousand people end up tuning in. Like, when's the next podcast? Tonight.
We really just do them when we can.
Yeah.
At this time, I mean, like, we're busy guys. We all work full time. We do the podcast when we can. So
Yeah, but I didn't say who it was with. I didn't want to say it was with Rance because people would be getting too excited.
Dude, it'd be way too exciting. It'd be way too exciting. When I knew Rance was coming, I got too excited.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, Rance has that,
And I just saw you yesterday.
I know, man.
and we'll get it. But so going back,
unbelievable.
you grew up, Casey, doing this, working along with Mark as a child, and you kind of figured out the gator business, and you figured out like, that's what I want to do for a living.
Man, no, not at all.
Oh, okay. Well,
it did not happen at all.
Okay, well, fuck me
So,
then.
like, I mean,
Like,
me, honestly, we had done a couple things, me and my wife. We had bought an RV park and different things. People found out about that. Mark found out about it. And we were actually at a church festival, and Lindsay was singing. And I saw Mark there.
Did she kill it?
She did. She always kills it.
I don't know.
hell yeah, brother.
So I saw Mark there, and I hadn't seen Mark in probably 5 or 6 years. So we ended up getting talking and just catching up and everything, and he pretty much kind of alluded to the fact that, he's ready to retire. It had been long enough. He'd been ready to retire. So
He's been on this earth for a minute.
He's ready to fish.
White
and
perch
hunt
fish.
and do
Yes.
the things that he likes to do without having to worry about business. So me and Lindsay the next week came and talked. Like I said, that was back in 2018. I spent a lot of hours just sitting here. We was sitting in this shop unloading gators at 11, 12 o'clock at night, just trying to learn the business. That's pretty much how it happened. And in 2020, when COVID hit, it was we ended up buying it that season, 2020. So
Hell yeah. And we're going to get into more of that. I just, honestly, Casey, I feel bad that I pooched earlier because I gave you this whole runabout of how I was going to give you the snuff cup whenever we gave
I like the white one better, though.
Yeah, you can't have
that's
I like the white one better.
Well, it's a crying shame. It's not yours.
Some
But
bull.
you know
That's
what?
some bull.
Yeah, but you get this one. That is your snuff
Hey,
cup.
I love this snuff cup, guys.
There you go. He loves the snuff cup. So, but I know you're gonna throw in a fucking fat ass pinch here in a minute, so you
I
might as well
will
spit
in just a
into that.
second.
Just throw it in there. But so 2020, you started taking over the business and really figuring out how much work it is. And on the last podcast that we had Rance on, he kind of vaguely talked about when he started gator hunting and.
When he was a wee tot.
When you're a wee tot, Rance, and I would like to know, kind of give you a question.
Can I try one of those, please?
Yeah, Rance is handing out.
Rance ate all of them. There was a full box before we started this.
Yeah, they're dynamite crackers. If y'all ain't never had them, too bad. But so Rance, when did you start? Let's give you at least a question or two.
Delightful.
From Stuckey's?
I think so.
Well, they're
I
very
don't know.
good.
They were for the crew, but they've been sitting there the whole season. I've watched them. They haven't got touched. So
Well,
tonight
They're not
they
stale.
got dominated.
That's insane. They've made it 30 days.
Good seal on the packaging.
Hobie's Bites,
Hobie's Bites. Hey, thanks,
Texas
Hobie's
barbecue.
Bites. Hey, Hobie, if you're watching this, fuck yeah, dude.
Hope he does it right.
But anyway,
So what you got, man?
I was going to ask you what when did you start hunting? I know you grew up and
I've
alligators. That is,
yeah.
just to stay on top.
I mean, there's pictures of me as a I don't know.
You taught?
I mean, probably before I was a year old. Like I'm just talking about pictures of me sitting on top of a dead alligator.
Kind of like how you're doing with your daughter Dro.
Like the first year they did it, like my Uncle Larry and his dad got tags. The first
Billie
year,
Jean?
Billie Jean Lawrence.
Billie Jean.
The first year they ever gave out tags, they did it, and they caught some big motherfuckers, dude. I'm talking
Giants.
I'm talking. Those alligators hadn't been touched for a long time.
Only the big boys were available.
Oh,
Like
dude.
just not
Everything
even
else better move.
and
not even green anymore. Just,
I mean, and that's the deal. Like I've thought about that. Like they get tags, them two. They get in like
It's not even fair.
in like 1989. As I think whenever it happened, and they get tags, and then they've never caught an alligator in their life legally. Anyway, you know what I mean? On a hook and line, the way that you have to do it, the way that the state of Texas says you have to do it. And like they come out the box. I think the first alligator they ever caught was like 12.9.
Damn.
It's like, but like, what do you do? It's like you think about it. Like it's not something that people like. I've thought about that. It's not something like now. I've grew up my whole life doing it. So, I kind of know a lot of ins and outs to the deal to make it easier. But it's like the first line you ever set for an alligator in your whole life, and nobody really has ever done it that you know or. No, yeah, and you pull up the head, and it's just like, what do you think?
Yeah.
It's just like,
it's like the land.
holy shit. This is way before.
It's holy shit because, like,
This is way before
right?
swamp
Like,
people.
Yeah.
Or
we
any
know.
of that shit where people, that gives you an idea of what's going on.
It's hard. It's hard to imagine
You
the
had the
size
you had the
of
land
a
before
12-foot,
time.
9 alligator, like 13-footer, 11-footer, like a 9-foot alligator, the size of a 9-foot alligator. We're graced to be able to look at it at a 1310, but really, like, the reason it's mounted is because that's like the biggest alligator that's ever been processed here in the last 30 years. Like, that's crazy.
The way I pointed out to people, I'm like, because they don't like most people don't understand measurement, and I'm like, can you dunk it? And that's all I gotta say is, can you dunk it? They're like, what do you mean? It's like, that's 10 foot. Can you touch the rim?
Can you touch the fucking
Oh,
rim?
no, no. Okay, so go 3 foot past that. Good luck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How many? And this, I'm fast forwarding, but we're gonna reverse. How many over 13 did you catch this year?
Over 13, just one that I was totally responsible for.
What? But okay, how many did you see this year, Casey?
How many did I see
Shit.
this year?
Yeah, how many came in was
Yeah.
ridiculous.
That's what I'm.
Well,
that's what
Oh,
I'm-
yeah.
I mean, no, it wasn't ridiculous, man. We got 2, really, 3.
No,
Three.
no, we had a 13, and you had like
I had a 13-4
you had from Tarkington,
from Tarkington, then the 14.
then the 14, then the game wardens.
The
Or
game
the-
wardens brought in another one. That's
You have
yes.
5 13s this year.
What's the other 2? What's the other 2?
The-
Because that's
the-
3 that I know of.
No, I thought the boys from Tarkington brought you 2 big ones.
They brought 2 big ones.
No,
But
so
the
my,
break. Hold on,
Well,
Lindsay's about to
we're
find
trying
out.
to yeah,
Look,
Lindsay's
going to
gonna
find out
figure out
exactly what
so
came in.
Casey's wife Lindsay is behind the scenes, and she's gonna fact check us.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
We're not using Snopes
she
here.
is the key that keeps all this running.
Yeah, we're not using Snopes. We're using Lindsay. But while she's looking up that, I mean, I just wanted to tell people, like, because whenever like someone's like, "Oh, dude, I caught this alligator, 10 foot, 11 foot, 12 foot, 13, whatever the fuck it is," it's like, can you dunk? And most people, majority, can't. So if you can't touch the nose to the end of an alligator, which most people can't even do at 8 foot, I mean, y'all caught a bunch of them this year. There's a lot of them around Texas, and
We caught some good alligators.
you got some good alligators.
We
We're
got some
gonna,
great alligators. 11.6, 12 foot.
well, we're gonna get to
We
that.
caught a solid 12.
I mean,
Like
Rance May just basically went ape shit this year on catching alligators. I'm going to go into that here in a minute, but
but back to the 13-footer deal.
Shnikes. Oh, dude, we got to talk about the shnikes.
But I've caught three
coming up
13-foot alligators.
3 13-foot alligators
in my life.
That's
and
solid.
I don't know anybody else besides my Uncle Larry. And I don't know if he's caught. I think he's only caught 2.
Yeah, but
Mark.
that's what we're
Mark
Porter.
Yeah,
Sure.
So
for sure.
Mark Porter, my uncle, Larry, my brother's uncle. We're half brothers.
I actually gave away one of Mark's 13 heads.
Don't worry, Mark won't watch this.
No, he knows. Mark, I told him that I let it go, like I gave it away. He was like, no.
I plan on having Mark.
Yeah, but you know the difference between me and those guys? Like 30 years.
Yeah.
I'm just at least.
At least 30 years.
Well, they were able to do it like easy back then.
Man,
but I'm
there
not
was
saying
so
they didn't
many
do it right. I'm just saying it was.
There were
was
so
just
many
different.
Of them, dude.
Like,
there were so many.
You didn't have a 7-footer dominating the bait, right? You didn't have a 7-footer dominating.
There was
the
a
bait.
pecking order.
You had it's just like a hen, mother hen. You ever watch the mother hen? Like she will peck the shit out of a chick. Like you don't step in front. Like big gators don't let a little gator get in the way. And back then they were stuff like that.
There's still places like that. Like
Pecking
I feel
orders.
like in the marsh,
Yeah.
the ecosystem is still has that pecking order.
And I would like to talk about that too tonight. Like people just don't most honestly people don't know about alligator hunting, alligators. I mean, because you only have 6-7 states that have an alligator.
The core,
Like really,
like core counties. Like,
Yeah.
see, we actually have core counties and non-core counties in Texas because of the migration, like they expanding.
Yeah. And I would like to get into that, and all that shit is super interesting, and people will find it interesting. But I just kind of wanted to touch base on while we're basically here is you bought Mark's, you're running the processing, and Rance knows how to catch alligators. But
Well,
Casey also knows how to catch alligators.
no, don't. He does. He knows how to catch alligators. He knows how to catch alligators. I mean, shit.
well, you got everybody's got their niche, right? So like my niche is processing. So that's what we do. So me and Rance partnered up this year to be able to get into the guided market, and we've got a lot of interest, a lot of repeat customers coming back. We did twice as much as we did last year. It's people are wanting to go on gator hunts, and they want to go and have a good time. I mean, remember the guy at Oyster Bow? I mean, you catch a 7-foot alligator, guy, I'm like, I hand him a 22 mag and a knife. I've got like, pick which one you want, a knife or a 22 mag. He grabs the knife.
Good luck.
So like, here we go. Like, we got the line. Here he comes.
Hell yeah, brother.
Boom, we got the line. We pull him up. Here he goes. Hey, on his back. We're talking about like a 50-year-old man. Talk about the fun that guy had. Like, it was just a great, was it not? It was awesome.
No, yeah.
Dude, so the guy that was with us killed like 11-footer.
Yeah.
Everybody from the lodge, when we went back and dropped the guys off, like walked right past the guy that killed the 11-footer, and he's like high-fiving. Everybody's like high-fiving. You killed him with a knife, man. That's bad.
Well, yeah.
Like, it was awesome. Like, everybody was just super stoked about that. Like, I didn't really care about the size. It was just the hunt, the experience, it was fun.
I mean, there's a deal, I had 3 guys. We went and I knew I had 3 gators on. I didn't know the exact size, but there was 2 9s, and the other one was like a 7, and the other one was in a spot where a big gator had been hanging out, so we were hoping it was the big gator. But so this guy kind of held off, because he wanted the big gator. So his two buddies shot the 9-footers, and we go over there, and it's like a 6.5-footer on the line, you know.
Which is a big gator. I
Yeah.
mean, goddamn, he's bigger. That's what I say. Like
Bigger than
can you
most
dunk
people.
Him? Can you dunk him?
Can
He's
you dunk
taller
him?
than you.
He's taller than you.
He's taller than you.
Yeah, but so I just see the dejection on the guy. You know, I'm like, he wanted a big one. And I'm like, all right, man. Well, and he's like, where's, and he had a pistol on his hip. I was like, we ain't using that pistol. And I had a knife, like a pop-out knife, you know, and I popped it out. I said, we're about to kill this thing. It's like, we're in a boat. I was like, don't worry, dude. You're going to stab him in the head. I'm going to get you, man. We're gonna do this together, you know. So I pull that gator up on the side of the boat, you know, and grab his mouth, and he starts twisting and rolls himself. That's basically what it was like.
Snuff cup knocked him.
Rolls himself into the boat, like where he's just flopping
God,
around. There's two big old boys with him, you know. Oh yeah, dude, they're about to flip out of that thing, you know. We're like in a gator tail boat, you know, so it isn't that stable. Anyway, I get a hold of his tail, kind of flip him around and grab his head, and I'm like, stab him. And he's like,
Where?
yeah, where do I stab him? I was like, man, wherever, just anywhere behind that head, just let her eat, you know. And he did, but then, you know, everything about those 9-footers, and he got a 6.5-footer, didn't matter.
It went away
because that dude just pulled a live alligator in the boat.
Yeah, and
stabbed it with a knife.
You say it's all about the experience. I mean, I 100% agree with you. Like a lot of the times, I mean, comparing it to duck hunting, like we go out there, we don't always fucking slam them. You know, like there's times where, you know, we may only kill, you know, 6-8 birds, but you know, out of that 6 or 8, some of them might have done it just right, and it's all about the experience, just being out there with your friends, having a good time,
right?
And, you know, some memories you make, you know.
And
yeah,
I can vouch on the alligator deal with Mitch, Matt, Damon. All have nuisance license, so I can go. I've caught multiple gators with them. Not saying I'm a pro, like a technical pro like them, but like going and catching a gator is a lot more exciting than shooting one.
Yeah.
Damon called me one day and goes, "Hey man, I got a pretty good gator in the pond. Like, do you mind helping me?" And I was like, "Yeah, sure." Yeah. He's like, "Bring your rod and reel." I was like, "Okay." And it was like 10.5 foot. I hooked him, like it was like on his front left arm. I pulled him up to the bank, and Damon just swan dives into it. And then we kept him alive. He jumps up and just puts him in a headlock, and this gator starts rolling and rolling. And I'm still hooked up, just like, what the? And he finally comes up, and he has him like on the bank, and he's like, grab his tail. I'm like, Jesus Christ. So I get in the water with him, and this tail's beating the fuck out of me. And I was like, well, that was a lot more exciting. We finally got him into a pond at Gator Country. I was like, that was a lot more exciting than any gator I've ever killed in my life.
Exactly.
And I didn't kill him, you know. It just, like, this sumbitch beat the shit out of me.
Oh, yeah.
But I like that aspect of hunting them. It's like deer hunting with a bow compared to a rifle. I mean, I rifle hunt. I don't bow hunt, but people that bow hunt know, like, up close and personal. So
last year we did it with an 11.7.
11.7 killed him with a knife.
Yeah, dude.
That's
straight up.
I would
man.
shit my pants.
Hey,
yeah.
I don't want to be a part of that.
If
hunt.
the client does it, I ain't scared of him.
Oh,
Okay.
oh yeah.
No, we'll get into
I ain't
that.
scared of him.
You ain't scared of them?
So, Casey, you were talking a little bit earlier about how gators you couldn't hunt them. They were endangered. Can you kind of go into that a little bit? Because I personally didn't know. I thought gator season always existed. I thought you could always hunt.
No, they
alligators in
closed the
Texas.
season for several years. They closed it, and give it time to populate. What'd you say, Rance?
I don't know if there was a season. They were just on the endangered species list for a long ass time.
Yeah.
And then they opened the season.
So you're saying
in
they basically
88 or so.
So they went from just it was just hunting to endangered. Like when they're like, okay, well, this animal that we've been killing for a while, we need to make sure it's good. To endangered list to okay, now it's starting to overpopulate to hunting. Is that what you're referring to?
Yeah, like I think it was just they were endangered because people there wasn't any kind of
Just fucked 'em up.
regulation.
Yeah.
And then eventually that endangered went to overpopulated.
Yeah.
I mean, and we really are overpopulated with alligators. Just going out in the marsh, I think I counted like 10, 11 plus gators. Just going to my duck hunting spot in the marsh, just going through the main bayou, not even probably seeing half of them. Just they're everywhere around here.
Yeah, and they're the biggest pain in the butt because they're 7 foot, 6 foot, 4, 5, whatever. They're the ones that are picking up your ducks, swimming away with them.
Oh God,
It's crazy.
We have a video, Casey, of last year. Mitchell got of a probably 6.5, 7 footer trying to eat a decoy, like decoy in the mouth, just chomping down, and Mitch is just recording it. Like,
yeah, he's just chilling in the water, then he'll just kind of swipe at the decoy, and he's like, okay, maybe this isn't a real duck, but
like that's the kind of shit we're dealing with. But like, so I know in like 2018, 19, there was like 1,100 tags or so in the state of Texas. I mean, is it close to the same right now, or is there more?
No, it's probably about the same. 18 or 19. 18 or 19. Really, was
The pinnacle?
on the lower end.
Yeah.
On the lower end because, we got into it in 2020. The hide market really hit back in the 90s, early 90s is when, you're talking like Mark first got into processing. He's buying them for $67 a foot.
Yeah.
You got somebody like, Larry's got 20 tags. You go catch a 10-foot average. That's good money. I mean,
Back in the day.
simple numbers,
right.
So
Big
a lot of people that are watching this probably, I mean, we've touched on it a little before, but like you can't just like a guy getting his hunting license, like I'm going to go hunt an alligator. Like,
no.
can you explain like how does one harvest an alligator legally?
I mean, the thing about it is the tags are issued to a piece of property. They're not issued to me or you or us four. Like we could have, 1,000 acres, but if it's not gator habitat, we don't get gator tags. So the tags are issued to a piece of property, and that's the way it goes. If you're the landowner, then you get the tags.
Right.
That's just the way it goes. And that's to maintain the population. But me and Rance got, what did we run, 26 hunts this year?
26, yeah. I caught, yeah.
26 we did,
26.
and you caught a few more for other folks.
Yeah.
I thought you were upwards of that, Rance, but
As far as catching alligators, he caught for a couple people.
Yeah. I caught 33 total alligators
we'll get to that. But
for the whole season.
But yeah, so basically for people that are tuning in, watching this, and figuring out, like, and this is the same with Louisiana too. Like, you don't just get a fucking tag because you're a resident.
No.
You have land, you have waterfront, you have gators, even they're like bedding on your property if there's just gators on your property. Depending on, like, the Parks and Wildlife of your state will fly. They will let you know how many you're allowed, and you purchase those tags. And then if you hunt them or not, that's up to you.
Well, in Louisiana, they don't buy no tags.
They don't buy tags in Louisiana?
No, they don't buy tags.
So I'm a little bit ignorant on the laws and regulations for how everything works in Louisiana. And we have talked about it a little bit before when we had Rance on last time. So I know in Texas you have to catch them on a line, if I'm not mistaken. Catch them on a line, shoot them.
Yeah.
In
So-
the mouth.
In the mouth.
Hook and line in the mouth.
Hook and line in the mouth. So in Louisiana, I know their laws are different. So, do they get to harvest? Is it easier for people in Louisiana hunting alligators? They get to shoot them in open water?
I mean, I don't know. I'll tell you this. So I don't know if they can shoot them in open water. I haven't looked there. And Rance is probably a little more abreast of what even in Texas. But I would say this. Like, I went to the and hunted with a guy in Louisiana. It's just totally different. So they don't pay a CITES tag fee. They don't pay for their CITES tag. So like the tag that has to go in every tail, they don't pay that. So they get on the habitat just because they have so much alligator habitat. They might get 50, 60 80 tags.
Jeez.
You know, they can go. They've got a longer season.
They got a whole month.
And if you've got 60 tags, you can set 100 lines.
Right.
Like in Texas, if you got 60 tags, you can only set 60.
And
lines.
Louisiana does have. Would you say Louisiana has more alligators than Texas?
No doubt,
for sure.
no doubt. They got more alligators for sure.
Well, Texas still has a strong population of alligators.
Well, but I mean, Louisiana's got more habitat,
right?
Yeah.
So that's the whole deal. When you look at half the state, half the state is alligator habitat.
And that's most of our like haters on the Bayou Dragons are like, they want to be Louisiana so much. Is like, bro, Texas has some fucking bayou. We got alligators.
Oh, we got
like,
alligators, and we got big ones.
We got big ones,
big alligators.
But like Louisiana, like I think, and I'm talking out my asshole right now. But like I'm pretty sure like in 2018 it was like Texas had 1,100 tags, Louisiana had 20,000 tags.
Oh, easy.
You know what I mean?
And it is. I mean, everybody you talk to's got 85 tags.
Yeah, like,
and they don't pay for them.
They don't pay for them. And
we buy them. We buy alligators for the meat.
Yeah, and most of them don't shoot their tags.
Like, no, they don't, because there's not a hide market.
There's not.
So the ones that are like duck hunters like us, or just like trying to maintain the population, they're buying them. Like I bought 200 alligators from Louisiana this year.
Yeah.
Because they don't pay a CITES tag and they sell them for a meat price. Back in the day, it was a hide price, right? Yeah. So the hide price drove the market. Now it's meat. And I'm throwing all their hides away. So it is what it is. I send all their the hide tags back.
So another question. So I walk in here earlier, and Casey's got a big room. It's full of alligator hides. And we walk in there, and he's pointing these hides out. They're beautiful hides, like alligator hides. I think they're badass. Right. You know, and he was like, "Oh, this one here has a little imperfection in it. It's probably wouldn't sell for a whole lot." I'm like, "Damn, this is a badass hide." Like,
right.
So why is that? That just a small imperfection will degrade the amount it'll go for.
Yeah, and it just does.
Don't go on why, like the imperfection. Why did the start of not buying an imperfection? Like what started? Yeah. I know, but people don't know why. Yeah. Like, because like you're saying, like hides used to sell for a lot. Now they don't. Why did that happen? And what now determines an imperfection on a fucking hide?
Well, so like a lot of things. So first off, like the season was closed. And we alluded to that earlier. The season was closed for so long. Then when they opened it back up, it's a high end market. Most people don't realize that alligator and caiman sweat. Or not alligator, I'm sorry, crocodile and like caiman, they sweat. So every one of these hides is going to have a hole in it. But American alligator doesn't. So, technically it'll really never wear out unless you just rub it all the way to nothing or if it gets a hole in it. So it's the most sought after leather in the world. So when they opened the season, it was only hide market because they didn't have any farms. Like there was no farms. It's like chicken farms, right? There was no farms when they started eating chicken. Then they started farming it. Let's all make money year round. So then they started farming it, and then with market trading, different things happened throughout the years. We got to a point where the farms are creating literally a perfect hide. It's a perfect hide, and the tanneries are accepting or buying only perfect hides. So if there's a birth defect, if it just got a dimple in the scale or a double scale, it's not perfectly symmetrical or whatever it is, if they don't want it, they won't buy it.
Correct me if I'm wrong. Usually, like these, the people that are buying these hides and shit, it's usually around like a 5 to 6 foot market, I'd imagine.
Yeah, somewhere around that.
They'll grow
3 to 5.
3 to 5. Okay, I mean, just growing them out and get them to the perfect point so you can make a Louis Vuitton.
And I will tell you this from a consumer standpoint, everybody might not be this way, but I want an alligator that was, drug up from the bayou or from the swamp.
yeah.
Like I think that's badass. I personally wouldn't want a farmed alligator hide. I mean, it would be badass. Don't get me wrong. I'm sure it's perfect, but like the little imperfections just like shows like, okay, this gator was a wild caught alligator.
But also you have to think this is coming to like everybody overseas.
Right.
Like everybody in Europe, they're not getting alligators, so they're buying alligators from us.
Yeah.
Italy, France, Spain, all these heavy hide/leather like collectors and shit like that.
It's like gold, right? So it doesn't matter where it comes from as long as it's gold.
Perfect.
You know what I'm saying? It's like 14 karat or 24 karat. That's what it is. So we've created a new standard, with the hide market and a lot of different things like COVID, like that stifled the market, like drove it down completely. So, it just takes time to build things back. But as far as you're going to have scars on wild skin, period.
Yeah.
You're going to have holes because they fight. And what you're alluding to, like I hand-picked the scars that I wanted in my boots.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I told them, like, that scar right there, I want that scar.
Well,
I want you to do whatever you have to do to make that scar right across the front of my boot.
so what I want people to know, like, let's just say a 13-foot alligator. You killed a 13-foot alligator. You're looking at something that has made it through the weather, through the storms, through hell and back for 60, I'm being generous, 60-plus years.
Oh, yeah.
You have this alligator that's literally made it through hurricanes, just tornadoes, through freezes, through whatever the fuck.
Yeah, you're right.
And just lives.
They're really incredible animals, man.
And
Dinosaurs.
through fighting.
Dinosaurs.
True dinosaurs.
Literal dinosaurs. They're fighting for their life. And, like, you kill one, and it's
they
like...
eat each other.
They literally eat each other. And, like, they have, like, some of the most aggressive fucking habitats on Earth. And then us humans, who are a bunch of fucking pussies, kill one. And I'm not saying us, but people in general, they're like, I don't want that. He has a fucked up skull. It's like, dude, that dude's been alive and done some shit.
Oh, yeah.
Like, straight up.
Lived life.
He's lived life. It's like elk hunting. It's like anything. Like, you kill a big elk, like a wild elk, and you're like, if you kill one, it's like, dude, that thing has made it through some shit. Deer, same thing. People don't understand that.
No, it's like the more, to me and you and us, we think the more scars, the better.
The character.
That's what I'm saying. You see one that come in and it's got literally, we've seen them come in like, they've got like a hole all the way, like a rip all the way through their belly.
Yeah.
Like, that's the guy you want to put your money on, right? That's the one you want to tan. So, I don't know. It's just a difference in folks, right?
Yeah, no, but I just wanted to let people know, like, and that are tuning in or listening or on the TikTok live, like, these things have gone through shit. And it's funny that the market, and most people don't know that, it's been washed. And I personally find it, and everybody here finds, like, the natural alligator market, like, that's ideal. You want that.
That's what you want.
You want that scar. You want that story. You want your fucking boots to have a story. You want your boots to be able to tell something. You know? And
Yeah.
I might be.
No, you're 100% correct. Like, I'm the same way. We're all the same way, but, like, how do we get to that point to where we make it cool again?
Back
it's
to
one of
that
those
point.
deals, like, how do you make that cool again?
Well,
So we've been thinking of that.
that has been one of our topics that we've talked about before this podcast. Me and Casey, me and Rance, me and Mitch, on how to make alligator hunting cool again. I kind of want to create that shirt, make gator hunting cool again. Just
Hey,
like straight up, red shirt, white letters,
Gaga.
Gator. Yeah,
Great again.
great again.
Gaga.
But yeah, I was just curious on that deal, and we'll continue further with all this. But let's kind of give a recap. So before we get into how we're trying to make Gators cool again, how was y'all season this year? I mean, truthfully, Rance, Casey, I mean, y'all did a lot of hunting this year. A lot of good hunting this year.
Well, I mean, so for us, we process. So we've got, we did close to 600 alligators this year. 600 alligators in 20 days. We did a lot.
600 out of probably 1,200, maybe.
Something like that. I mean, I don't want to speak out of turn. So I don't know exactly what was issued. I know we turn in tags. We're going to turn in tags. So I know every issued tag isn't filled. But
you're looking at
3,500 issued tags, maybe. I don't know. But
y'all probably showed more issued tags than anybody else. That's a safe bet.
I would think that, that's a good feat for 20 days to process right at 600 alligators. That's pretty good.
I think so.
Most deer processors, I say most, a lot of deer processors that I know do about 600 deer in 90 days, at least 60, So it's a process. Shout out to my crew. Couldn't do it without you. That's the Bones, my wife, everybody.
Yeah, give all them a shout out, man. I mean,
Juan
that's a big
Junior
part.
And Lupe and Rogelio, a lot of the folks that do it
and
for us year in and year out. It's the only way it's possible.
Well, yeah,
so
they're the only ones that make it do. But what happens when you get a gator? Because a lot of people don't understand that too. I mean, I'm trying to just break down this whole process. You get an alligator.
Yeah.
Tell me what you do with it.
I mean, if you kill an alligator, you bring it to us. Bring the alligator to us. We're gonna skin it. Most of the time, 99% of the people that bring this alligator are gonna get the hide stand. So we skin it. We custom skin it how they want it. They want the back or the belly or whatever they want, and then we scrape it, salt it, and we'll ship it to them from the tannery. And then as far as the meat, we process the meat the same way. Everything gets processed. It gets defatted, tenderized twice, and we put it, vacuum seal it. So, and I mean, we charge to process both. But yeah,
a lot of the meat that y'all process, does that go back to the customers, or do y'all sell to any restaurants, local restaurants or anything?
Well, we do. So the thing about it is, we buy about 200 alligators from Louisiana, and but a lot of the people that bring us alligators, the skin and scrape and salt, they want some of the meat. They want all of the meat. They want more. We process it because we only have 20 days. We process it all the same. Everything's processed the same because that's the only way to keep up. So, we basically, just like a deer processor, whenever you take your deer meat in a cooler to a processor, you say, hey, look, turn it into sausage for me. They charge you by the pound. We just charge by the pound. So for what we do.
Yeah.
And a lot of people have never eaten gator meat. Gator meat is damn good.
Yeah.
Well, actually, this is the next question. Rance May and Casey Hedges, what is your favorite way to eat alligator?
Fried
for Rance May. That was easy. All right.
Fried.
Okay, so we like frying alligator down here in Southeast Texas. It's easy. You have some nice tenderized meat from Porter's Processing, and then you take it and you throw it in some fucking cornmeal. But
I know we're on the podcast. I can't really remember what the first question. I know we were talking about like how did our season go. Kind of went off on a tangent there.
Well,
I'm sorry.
The season was great.
Yeah,
we took.
we started on basically. My question was, how was your season? And tell me. And I'm just expecting. Give me like a few solid gator hunts. And there's one in particular I want to hear from y'all.
Only one?
No. But you know which one I'm talking about, Schnikes.
So we had some clients come in from Las Vegas, Nevada.
Hey,
And
shout out to Las Vegas.
Yeah, shout out.
Shout out Las Vegas.
Yeah, why not?
Viva, baby.
Viva.
Can't wait to go back.
I can't wait to go my first time. I've never been.
You ain't never been to Las Vegas?
I've never
Grow
freaking
up,
been.
brother.
Hey,
Actually,
Come on, you gotta go to
Lindsay,
Vegas.
see what he said? We gotta go.
You gotta go.
You know what?
Let's go.
Let's go.
I'm with it.
He's
Hey,
like, let's go.
now
I missed my
let's
first
go.
day of the
Okay.
tour.
So
We're
anyway,
ready.
yeah, I'll go to Vegas. To hell with that tour.
Speaking of, by the way, Rance May, I'm just going to go ahead and jump fucking boat. Rance May is about to be touring with Brad Paisley. Coming up.
Hey.
I am about to
And
go.
multiple states, multiple city. I don't know what the fuck you're doing.
It's just playing with Brad Paisley, opening the show.
I know, but how many days? How many what?
6 dates.
6 dates.
In 3 weeks.
I'm gonna get a little mud on the tire.
That's right.
So
dude.
Rance May right here, who's ever live on TikTok and viewing this fucking podcast, listening, viewing, Rance May, Brad Paisley, coming to a town
Texas,
near.
Texas date.
I'll be there.
The Texas date is October 19th.
October 19th.
Where y'all playing in Texas?
Globe Life Field in Arlington, where the Rangers play.
Well,
What?
so
yeah, bro.
where you
He
watch?
said, yeah, I'm big timing, bro.
Yeah, bro.
I'm big timing, bro.
Nah. I wish. So had these folks in from Vegas.
Yeah.
They, old boy wanted a big one, so caught an 11.6.
We set the night before, though.
We set the night before. Yeah, we took them out there.
And that's newly.
They got their ass handed to them by deer flies.
Hey, look.
We
set the
All
lines.
right,
People
what
set the
about-
lines. How did I show up?
Hey, all right, yeah. Let me start that
Well,
real quick.
Hold on, wait. Before you even start that, that's a pretty new thing for Texas, being able to set, the night before.
No,
No,
you can't set the night before.
you're saying
This was Saturday
This
night.
was Saturday night.
We went to go set Saturday evening.
because the
before
season
dark.
didn't open
Before dark.
Yeah,
before dark.
before
30
dark,
minutes before
30 minutes
dark.
prior,
Anyway,
and everything was cool
yeah. So, but
and
Just-
law abiding.
Casey shows up to the boat ramp, and I think you might have some friends that were leaving the boat ramp while Casey was rolling up to the boat ramp with the boat at the refuge on Oyster Bow.
Is this the one tire story?
Yes.
Oh, yes.
And
Okay.
he rolls up on a rim, and I'm
Straight
talking
rim.
about like a rim that's cracked in half. He's been rolling since like the Fitzgerald's dryers, dude,
Dude, so
or
People-
tanks.
people that don't understand. So I get a Snapchat the following day, and I'm not trying to interrupt you. We have all the time in the world. I get a Snapchat from Rance of Casey, who's on this video podcast, and y'all can see him. He goes, I didn't give a fuck. 7 miles back, I lost my tire.
Yeah.
It's like 7 miles? He's like, I didn't have time to change it.
We're going to set.
We going to set.
Oh, Musgrave rolling in hot,
So-
baby.
Yeah.
What's funny is I'm at work that day, that the morning y'all set all them lines. I get 2 Snapchats from 2 different people at the boat ramp. They go, man, this motherfucker must be having a badass day. Like, he must be having a shitty ass day. And I get a video from Rance May, and it's Casey going, we still setting lines.
Ain't nothing
Like
can
we-
stop us.
Ain't nobody stopping us.
We setting the line. I've
Hey.
been going,
And then we
like
caught it-
16 miles.
We caught an 11.6
that
11
day, yeah.
on that night.
No, we're gonna get to that. I just wanted to let people know. Like, I saw this video from people before Rance showed me, and I was like,
Was this at the Anahuac Refuge?
no, it was at Pace Track.
Okay,
Yeah.
because I
Yeah.
actually received a Snapchat like someone's having a bad
Mason,
morning. Yes.
Mason.
Yeah.
And had a picture
No,
of that.
we had a great
fucking
morning.
we had
actually.
no. So
It
that
was
was
a
the
great
night before.
morning.
They saw my stuff at the boat ramp the next morning because I left my boat in the water. I just left my boat in the water, and we
Left the
backed it
trailer
in,
there.
left the trailer, the truck, everything. Me and Rance went scouting that night.
Oh, shit.
Mason Sparkman.
Yeah.
Mason Sparkman sent us a Snapchat and he said, damn, these dudes having a badass night. And then I'm like, fuck, that sucks. Like, I'm like, but that's a big ass boat. Like, to be be one hunting in the marsh. And then I look at Rance's story and I see Casey just going, I don't give a fuck. We setting out lines like 14 hours before.
Ain't
and I was
nothing can stop us.
ain't
baby.
nothing can stop us.
We're going.
He
We're
sounded
setting
like-
the line. No, so like we were
DJ
here.
Candid.
That was our first group, right? That was our first
Yeah,
group
the
of hunters.
the
That was
first
the first
day.
group, and they were all there. They wanted 2 gators, and the guy's he's like a hunter. I mean, like he builds his own bows and arrows and stuff. So he's wanting a treat, you know. And we're running late. I'm trying to get all these down. He's cutting rice. I'm trying to get all these damn posts and lines and everything put together. And he shows up, and we end up being like an hour, at least an hour. They're here just kind of like waiting on us to go and everything. And finally, I'm like, look, I'm out of diesel. I said, look, y'all just go ahead and go. So they went. I went and got diesel. And then about 15 miles out, pow, tire goes. And I just kept rolling. I never even stopped. Just kept going.
15 miles.
Dude, it was like 15 solid miles.
Full send, fuck it mode.
Dude, and I went. And we went. Like, once we got to the middle of it, the refuge road, my rim split in half. And my trailer, I couldn't go faster than like 15 miles an hour because my trailer kept bouncing, boom, 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 boom. So it's like, I was just like, God, please just get me there. If I can just get my boat in the water, we're good.
So,
like,
dude, it was so funny. I literally called Rance that morning whenever I saw the Snapchat, and I was like, yeah, I have a problem getting there. And Rance, like, talked to me like I was a jackass. He goes, what do you mean? I was like, I saw you and Casey have like a rough time getting to the boat ramp. He goes, nah. And I was like,
Everything went smooth.
No, that's literally, no, it's fucking,
good.
Of course it's Rance.
We were
I'm
fine.
like, and he personally sent me a video of your wheel blowing off the rim. And he's like, no, dude, he just drove like that. And I'm like, and? Like,
we made it.
Was it bad? And he's
11-6.
dude, it's so funny. Rance just like acted like I was a dickhead. Like, he was just like, nah, dude.
That's what we do during Gator season. When you got 20 days to get it all done, you just
and
get it done, bro.
That's what I want people to know too. We get it done down here. But it was so funny that I was like, Rance, how everything was cool. He's just like, what do you mean? Like, act like so
shaved.
Rance made music. You did some gator hunting this year, and I was just wondering about some of your better hunts, some of the bigger gators, interesting stories. I mean, I know sometimes you'll have a big gator that comes up and is very lethargic and you kill it and it's nothing. You could have a 5-footer that comes out and tries to bite the shit out of everybody. You know, I just want to know what the fuck, how your season was.
I had some hunts I had to make pretty exciting, and then I had some hunts that were real exciting, like the one we were touching on earlier where he rolled up with the trailer on the rim. We ended up catching 11-6, and we pulled up on the line. We set the line. We saw the alligator. We knew it was a good one. And we got there the next day, and because it was a good one, we gave it a long rope, like 100-footer rope. So the gator had crossed a levee that was like in a ditch that we set it on, back into the bayou, wrapped around like 2 pilings that's in the water, you know, and then
clusterfuck.
Oh my God, and then up on the bank, and was just kind of stuck up on the bank. So
immediately we're thinking he's dead.
Yeah,
that's what we think when we're pulling up. He
like,
looked at me
gotta
like,
be,
is he fucking dead?
And I get off, and I get off the boat and kind of start stomping around on purpose, you know, and he starts hissing.
And I look, and I can see his eyes open.
Yeah, yeah. So anyway, the guy that we were taking from Las Vegas, his name was Justin. He got out, had the gun. Yeah, he had the gun, and you know, I'm telling him you got to get up close to shoot him, and he starts walking up, and he gets pretty close. I'm trying to tell him, you need to watch the tail. If he slings that tail around, you're fucked, you know. And he gets about where he's almost in time for shot, and that gator hisses and turns around and comes after his ass, and he just yells out, "Holy shnikes!" And then he looks at it, he's like, he was coming up, you know, like he was
coming up.
He was coming up. And I'm like, you know, it's all, you know, I'm like, easy,
He's like, hey,
buddy.
hey there, buddy.
Hey there, buddy. Easy there. So he comes around the other side. And I'm like, man, you were better off where you were, you know, like he's hitting the end of that line on the other side, you know. So he starts walking around, and that gator takes all, like, he's moving. And that fucking line is like a piano string, dude. Like, that bitch is about to pop.
Just doing.
Yeah, dude. And I just, all of a sudden, I'm like, all right, we're just going to have to go ahead and shoot him there, bud. Like,
Shoot him,
just,
bud.
Yeah, just.
We're going to shoot him, bud.
You're going to have to put one in him. So he did. He stepped up and shot him. We put like 3 in him, make sure he was dead. But it was a, you know, it was a hunt that dude will never forget. His first one, and he's ruined, you know.
Oh, he's ruined.
And
we're gonna-
He got a hell of a gator.
For the video, people that are watching, not the audio, we will be putting this clip up because I have seen this video, and it is hilarious how he just, I've been talking, he is close. And if y'all have seen Swamp People, which a bunch of the viewers have and shit, you know, he's close. And he just goes, oh, shnikes.
Oh, my
like,
God.
he just
Like
bailed.
ran across an alligator slide. Like,
Yeah.
there was a slide going. That's where the gator was going. And he just hit the end of the rope.
It was funny. Like, it was funny to us. A bunch of people were like, oh, shit. So that was probably the funniest story I've heard. I mean, that was, what, 11-footer they all caught?
11.6.
Yeah.
And that's not even.
No, I'll tell you, there was a,
And we thought he was 10. Like, look, when we saw him the night before, because we saw him, and that's why we
Yeah.
set the extra rope. We saw him the night before. Both of us were like, he's a big 10. Like,
big
we're
10.
looking at him like, me and Brother Rance, like, he's
he's
big
pushing
10. Like,
11.
Yeah,
he's
10,
pushing
8, 10,
11.
9.
That's what we're looking at. And we get him in the boat, like, and it took us all, me, him, and Justin, because there was 3 girls with us that went. And one of the girls, like, went and killed a gator. But when we get him in the boat and we roll him over to Rance, we're riding back to the boat ramp. Rance, like, he'll go 11.6.
He'll go 11.
He's like, he'll go 11.6.
Yeah.
And we get him back in, like, 11.6.
Yeah.
Like,
He was
he's
for real.
right at 11,
Yeah.
11.5 3/4, 11.6 1/4. And, like, it's just, like, so close, you know. So
But- You know, and then there was I started hunting a ditch late season that, or what dreams.
oh, ditch. What dreams are made of.
They're what dreams are made of. Dude.
Yeah. That might be
And-
the next title of our shirt, What Dreams Are Made Of.
Man,
The
just-
chicken hanging.
Just
What
a,
Dude.
dreams are made of.
yeah.
just a fucking, a
That's what I was
literal,
trying to tell you.
a piece of fried chicken.
All right.
Fried chicken. And it says, what dreams are made of.
What dreams are
Dude,
made of. No, you're right.
So
And you have a bunch of people underneath just like,
the first afternoon I went out there to hunt this ditch. I walk out, you know, up on this saltwater barrier, and there's just like 5 12-footers just swimming around. I'm just
Hanging
like,
out.
are you fucking kidding me right now? Like, is
all we got to do is catch them.
this is for real? Yeah, like that was my whole deal. It was like, it's all I could think about. And I'm not gonna lie to you, for like, I told him last night, like, I've dreamed about it every night. I've dreamed about that place every fucking night since Gator season ended. But I got there that afternoon, got to looking. Well, I look under the bridge. There's a bridge going across the ditch, and there's one hanging out there that's a grown fucking man.
Like,
you know?
yeah, that dude
Like,
is.
all the way there?
Sure enough. Like, yeah. There was no brainer, you know?
Yeah.
So I spent like an hour trying to get him fired up. And there's like 30 smallest alligators, like 8.5 foot, like 9 and 10 footers,
Yeah.
you know, that
all
are
these
just
gators have dicks on them.
getting fired up.
Yeah.
about, and I'm throwing them pieces of meat. And, he won't come. He come out from the bridge for like a brief moment and then just turned around and went straight back. So I hung a line because I couldn't get him fired up. I hung a line. I'm not exaggerating, 6.5 foot off the water.
At least.
Dude, on this place, they hung it like 5 foot and caught a 9-footer off of the water.
So before we go past this point, so people don't understand, like, just tell them how like an alligator bites a line.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
I have
remember that 3-footer, like 4-footer that we turned around that night we took Justin and them out.
Yeah.
And he was just hanging on the chicken.
Oh yeah.
Jaw.
Yeah.
That's somebody was like 4 foot.
I thought that he was hung up on the line.
Yeah. He caught the hook.
So the way, let me explain that to you real quick. So there's a stake in the ground, there's a rope tied to it, and there's a leader tied to the rope with a big hook that's got bait on it.
Yeah.
So they eat that bait, they swallow it, they're tied to the stake, and you have them on the rope. That's how it works. So we were, after we set our lines that evening, we caught that 11.6. I was telling you, we rode by a line that, I'm not exaggerating, was at least 4 feet out of the water.
At least.
And had like a 4-foot alligator hanging on it. And the way that these guys set their lines.
I just passed it.
We went and set the line. We came back. It was still on the line.
Yeah.
So I was trying to help out the guys that we knew set the line. And I thought it was just hooked in the mouth. Also trying to help the gator because it couldn't break the cane pole. That's how small it was.
Yeah, it couldn't break the cane pole. He just hanging from the pole.
So I was going to get him off the line because he would have died on the line if he been mouth hooked, just the way it all was going down.
Yeah.
But he wasn't even hooked. He was just literally holding on to the bait
and
like
just
that.
Thrashing.
Yeah.
So
just thrashing.
Look, people that don't know, and he gave it brief. You have these big levees. Most of the time where we're hunting, you have these big levees that go straight down to the water. You have a T-post, like he was saying, and you tie a piece of cane pole, something that is easily breakable. So if you do catch an animal, it goes with it, and they'll be alive down in the water. This gator couldn't break the fucking cane pole.
Yeah, it was that small.
And you try to set it as high as you can because, like a big gator, they push up with their tail. They can jump. Like an 11-foot gator can come 4, 5, 6 foot out of the water because they come straight out.
Easily.
They come straight out, grab it, pull it back down. So if you put it above a certain amount, you're not going to get those 2, 3, 4 footers usually.
Yeah.
But y'all got one.
Well, no, so that big one that I'm talking about, I couldn't spend an hour trying to get him fired up to come bite the bait. He wouldn't do it. Hung it. No exaggeration, like 6.5 foot off the water to make sure none of those 9 and 10 footers could get it. We left, went and rode the property a little bit, went back up to the front to like the headquarters. 45 minutes, turned around and came back. The line was down. That gator wasn't under the bridge. And I was like, no way. 45 minutes. That dude, he was that worked up about it that he was, because I was feeding those smaller gators. I say smaller gators. They're all big, but I'm just
6,
compared
7.
to him,
Yeah.
9, 10 foot.
Yeah, 9, 10 foot gators just throwing them pieces of bait, and they're just eating. It's driving that gator nuts, So pull that rope up, and I'm telling the guys that with me, I'm like, it's a fucking good one. Like there's no doubt about it.
He's a good one.
And that son of a bitch pops his head up, and I'm like, oh my God. End up killing it. Was 13 foot even.
13 foot.
But
hadn't seen it at this point.
Well, under the bridge.
Yeah.
Saw its head in the shadows. Just knew it was a giant. I had no idea it was that big, So the next morning, killed that 13-footer that evening. That guy that came and shot it.
Mike Hawkins coming through.
The next morning, we had another guy that wanted a big one.
Big one. And he wanted a decent size, like a small one for a pit. Too.
We go to the ditch of dreams.
The ditch of dreams.
And
there he is.
he's out there.
And we look up.
Big 12.
We didn't even set a line.
No,
Look
we
up.
didn't. We didn't have any gators on for this
There
guy.
he is.
Showed up.
That's the one.
So, everybody hangs back. I get out there with a line, some lung on it. Throw it out there.
Before you go on anymore,
Telling all your secrets now, boy.
No, I don't want to elaborate on that though.
you don't want to
No,
elaborate.
I don't really want to elaborate on that. That's what I'm saying. I just gave a little bit.
You shouldn't. You shouldn't even said
I
that
threw the
much.
lung.
Hey, but
Don't.
that's
Hey, he threw chicken out. Don't fucking worry about
It's
it.
I threw the lung.
well, no. It's so on 100-foot of rope.
Yeah, long on a hover.
On literally like the fourth throw that I made, he popped because he went down once we all kind of walked up and looked at him, the big one. On that throw, he pops up out of nowhere and just eats it. Like, I was unsure if it was him. Then he turned his head and I'm like, oh, that's definitely him. And just eats the bait right in front of me. And he ate it, but sometimes whenever they're on that line like that, they want to swim off a bit. That's why I give them a long line
like your
to eat it.
garfish. Like your garfish.
Yeah. So I gave him a bunch of line and then saw that he had it like in his throat. So I gave him the Jimmy Houston. And I just reeled down and set back on him. And it hooked right like inside the inside of his jaw, you know. But he was on. We killed him. He was right at 12.
He was 12.
Yeah, 12 foot. And then that guy, he wanted a 5-footer to put on his pit hole. So on that same line, on the same lung, because he didn't swallow it, I got the hook out of that 12-footer's mouth.
Took it out. We ripped
Took it out of his mouth. Same lung that I just caught that 12-footer on, I threw it out there. 5-footer ate it. Jimmy Houston, him. He shot him like within 3 minutes of each other. The dude killed a 12-footer and a 5-footer. It's like, hunt's over, dude.
Hey, it was nuts. It was nuts.
Yeah. It was legit. But yeah, man, it's been tough. We
Had a cold front the last week.
had a cold front the last week, had a big gator during that cold front down the line.
Oh,
Yeah,
know,
and
it happens.
That's something that happens, and people that do it understand. Some people that don't, just, I mean, you're setting out a bait and a line legally for an animal, and they swallow it.
It
they
happens,
might swallow it too deep.
they get hooked in the heart of their lung, and it's kind of game over. Like, that was the fastest I ever seen one die. 45 minutes, an hour tops. He was on the line. Got back over there. He was dead.
Yeah,
and a lot of times bigger gators will grab them and pull them.
yeah.
They
And
start pulling
ripping.
on them, and they start pulling things. Because if they're hooked, they're not going to pull against the pain. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it just kind of, I think other gators, man, and when you do, they're very, I mean, they're cannibalistic. They'll grab onto them.
Yeah, they're
gator in a
aggressive.
heartbeat. And like it starts thrashing around. They'll come get them and
Yeah.
grab them, pull on them.
Yeah,
But I'll tell you, we caught a lot of 9 and 10 footers.
Yeah,
and
That's you know,
those
and
are
that,
solid
9-foot alligators a trophy, man. I mean, really.
Well, I'm 5'10", so I mean that motherfucker is standing above me.
And that's the thing. Everybody wants to shoot a 10-footer. Everybody wants to shoot 11, 12, bigger the better. And I get that. But honestly, like being in this business, as long as I have, the best hides are 6-footers.
Yeah.
If you want to get something done with it, because like a watch band, like if you get a watch band made out of your alligator hide, like you got a 10-footer, that's one scale.
Well,
You can't tell what it is.
Yeah.
look,
You know what I mean? Like a 6-footer, you can use any part, right? The belly, all that.
Why is that the best part now? Casey? And I'm saying, like, you're a wild alligator hunter, meat processor, whatever. Why is the 6-foot alligator now prominent?
Well, I
in the
mean,
game?
because they haven't been in fights and stuff but like this is like a 10-footer right here. see how big his scale is. You get a wallet made or whatever. That scale, it's hard to tell on this belly part what it actually is. On a 6-footer, that scale is going to be that big.
Yeah, but
instead of
I'm talking like
That's right.
I don't want to
Yeah.
be out of line, but like most alligator farms, especially in Louisiana, like they're cleaning and killing their alligators at 6 foot.
most of them are at 3.
3
Most
foot.
of them at
3
3
foot.
foot.
So 3 foot. So
3 foot. Yeah.
So people that are out here that listen to our shit but don't do any outdoor stuff, but you like gator hide, you're probably killing a 3 foot alligator if you're not buying from, an actual person that's hunting them and harvesting wild alligators. So 3 foot. I didn't think it was that small. I think it was
3
like
to 4 foot. I mean,
3 to
that's
4.
that's what you want to harvest them at.
That's the
They're raising them bigger than that, but
ideal scale
yeah,
because they
scale
haven't gotten.
pattern. It's all about you got.
Yeah,
It's just like a chicken farm, right? So like, look at that chicken. He's got a good breast on him, whatever. The same thing about a hide. He's got a watch band hide.
yeah,
Watch bands.
And-
there he goes.
yeah.
Different
Louis
pins.
Vuitton stomach or whatever the fuck.
And
they're
really, the name of the game at the end of the day is how to get more people interested in gator hunting.
Yeah, no
Yeah.
doubt. That's what we've been thinking about. I've been thinking about for the last, since 2018, really.
2018, and that's what we've been talking about and trying to bring back the market of wanting to gator hunt because it's getting stolen from the people. I'm saying the people, us, you, anyone that has an interest in gator hunting or trying to make a living out of doing it, especially in Texas, is people are, I'm not going to say fucking up, but people are fucking up. The market, just basically whitewashing the market with growing all these imperfected alligators, and they're using them because there's no market in the hide. They sell the meat for next to nothing, and you have people like you, Casey, Rance, who are grinding for this shit and don't get nothing from it. So I would like to hear about your intentions on how to maybe make it more interesting, really, to the general public.
Well, we've talked about it a lot, and I think that it's going to just come down to there's going to have to be some kind of big tournament,
Competition.
some competition.
Yeah, I think competition draws the best out of everybody.
Yeah.
So, in my mind, how do you get more? Because the tags are issued to land. How do you get more interest? How do you get more involvement and people wanting to hunt? The hide market's not there. So, how do you do it? So, just like any other, bass tournament, marlin, wahoo, whatever, we got to have a badass alligator tournament.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, and and also just to reiterate on that a little bit, we anybody looking to come on the hunt of a lifetime, get with us. Probably put you on whatever you're looking for.
So
No.
look,
For sure.
so the Bayou Dragons, and we went to Houston, we went to Dallas, we're going to San Antonio. This Texas Trophy Hunters this next year, we're going to have Casey and Rance with us. For anyone that wants to come up, talk, if they want to just ask questions, if they want to buy hunts, we're going to be selling alligator hunts this coming up year for the September season. And depending on what we're talking about, we're trying to create a competition where everybody can be involved that buys a hunt. Correct?
Correct.
Like, you can buy a hunt in fucking January. You're like, I want one gator tag. You buy that tag, you end up shooting a stud alligator. You shoot something like this right here. You might be in some real ass money.
Oh,
Like, some real fucking money.
Yeah. So like to say, let's just talk about how to get gator tags.
Yeah.
For just a second.
Yeah.
Right? Like so.
This is
how
bro.
do you get a gator tag? If you own land that has alligator habitat, that's the only way you get an alligator tag. You have to have property that has alligators on it, and there's historical data on that. It's mainly issued to private landowners. I mean, 100% private landowners. So to get alligator tags, you pretty much have to go with a guide. And that's just the way it is because the tags are issued to private landowners.
90 to 95% of it has to be guided.
Guided hunts, private landowner issued. That's pretty much it.
And it also has a lot to do with, if you want to have a real good experience with the hunt, then I suggest you find a good guide service to go with.
But that's the same way in elk.
People don't. It is. It's no
same way in
different
elk.
because
same way in mule deer.
It's
the same way in anything.
It's just as much work to go find them
Exactly.
and set on them and catch those gators.
And catch the good ones. And,
it's if that's what you're looking for, then that's.
And people don't understand that, and that's what I'm trying to, tell them. You're putting in the fucking work. You're guiding. You're scouting. You're feeding. You're baiting.
We're working with landowners to be able to get those tags to provide for those people to be able to shoot those alligators.
And in all honesty, and just speaking out, like y'all said elk, but the difference between alligator hunting in the state of Texas and elk hunting in Colorado is I could draw a tag and I could go fucking hunt whatever I wanted. And
Sure.
I could walk up and end up shooting a fucking 300, 400 class
Well,
elk.
you could do that in Texas too.
You could.
Yeah,
but,
I'm just saying.
But I'm saying you're not going to get that access to go shoot an alligator. There's no way.
Well, the reason why is because everybody down here, because they see alligators in their ditch, they see alligators in the culvert,
they see alligators in the bayou,
in the pond, the
bayou,
lake, wherever they go, they see alligators. So they think it's that easy to catch big alligators.
Well,
and it's not.
It's not because legally, you got to get tags.
Yeah.
And what most people thinking out of term, like, oh, it's easy to catch alligators, like, can you catch an alligator legally?
Right.
And that's the hard part.
Well,
you can shoot
find
an elk.
a big alligator. Find a big one.
Find a big one legally. That's what I'm trying to say is to people, anyone listening, is if you can find a 12-foot alligator and legally catch it in the state of Texas, and that's you not having the land and not having the waterfront, and then you get a landowner to get the tags from the federal game wardens or what. There's a whole fucking process.
Yeah, it's a huge process.
It's a way bigger process than getting a elk tag to go to Colorado.
Yeah,
or
you walk up to
Montana.
any store to get an elk tag, you can get it.
You can,
like a non-resident elk tag.
Yeah, you can pay the money to get it. You can't pay the money to get a gator tag. Like, you have to pay for a guide, which is why we have y'all on here.
Exactly.
So
and it's the same way in Louisiana. Like, to be a helper in Louisiana, you have to have a license.
Yeah.
To be a helper, not a killer, like not a hunter. There's different licenses for everything. So it's not exclusive to Texas.
Yeah.
I mean, everybody has to pay
a certain price.
That's right. That's right. So
I wanted to make that apparent, and like, I didn't mean to interrupt you. I just want people to know that there is an extensive process to be able to kill a gator legally in the state of Texas and be able to publicize it, talk about it. Rance and Casey killed multiple 12 to 13 foot alligators this year. All of them are legal. Everything, documented. You can't just go out in the fucking water and be like, oh, dude, there's a 12-foot alligator.
Pow.
Kill it. Pow. It's like, bro,
no.
Like, you can't. I don't give a fuck if you have your fishing license, if you have your hunting license, you have whatever. It's the tag deal. The tag deal is probably the most extensive out of any other North American game animal.
We got people that all the time calling us, and we help them. Like, me and Rance have done a couple years in a row, help people that, didn't get a, they sold some alligator hunts, but didn't technically have any alligator tags. We helped them,
Yeah.
or,
Sure.
Oh, Marky Mark.
Yeah, but I'm just what I'm trying to do. I'm not trying to go off on that deep of a rant. I'm just saying. Yeah, you can pinch that. I just want people to know that it is because a lot of people, and even people from Louisiana, are very ignorant to their state, to Louisiana.
Shit, I'm ignorant too.
I
think just like all the rules. Rance probably knows more about the rules than I do.
And you own your own processing.
That's right.
I'm just saying we have a lot of jackasses from Louisiana or other states. Like, dude, they want to be like Louisiana. They want to hunt like Louisiana. It's like, bro, we have like the same rules. They're on a lot bigger scale, but everything has to follow this certain agenda to be legal.
Well, Louisiana is like, as far as alligators go, they're way ahead of us.
Well, yeah,
Like
10 times ahead of us.
light years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We get 1,100.
They started a putback program. So when you collect eggs, and we collect eggs, so when you collect eggs, you put back 17%. That was their original Louisiana rule. Like, if you picked up eggs, you had to put back 17% of what hatched. You put it back to guarantee that you didn't
Hinder.
go above the mortality rate. And then they did that for a while, and then they realized, holy fuck, there's a lot of alligators. Let's drop it. Now, I mean, don't take anything I'm saying, 10. They dropped it to 10. Then they dropped it to 5. I think they're at 3 now. Alligators populate at a high rate.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
At a high rate.
dude, there's one thing alligators do, and that's that they fuck.
Yeah.
That's right.
So, Casey, we've talked about, how y'all harvest gators, how you catch them legally in Texas, and, each person, how we're doing this shit. But I know we've talked about beforehand of this podcast, you have an idea on how to make it more popular because it's kind of like a dying process in Texas. I'm saying people
No
paying.
pun intended.
No pun intended. There's not a huge market for hunting alligators. So
No, I mean, yes. But I think for the last 3 years, I've been talking about doing a contest, like a big contest.
yeah,
But I didn't really know exactly how I wanted to do it.
Mhm.
How do we structure it? Because there's pretty much private landowner exclusive. How do we get more people involved? This, that, whatever. So the thought is, me and Rance talked about it extensively, and I think you just had to do like a trapper tournament, pretty much 4-man teams, up to 4-man teams. Maybe do a couple of helpers for each team. And you do 10 teams weighing the thing is you do length times weight. You can't just do length. It has to be length times weight because we've seen 12'6" come in with a foot off their tail eating, giant alligators. I've literally had a 12'2" on the table and a 12'2.5" on the table right next to each other. Took a picture of it, and the 12'2.5" could have eaten the 12'2".
Yeah.
I mean, he was just giant. So you got to do length times weight. You do your top 5 gators. Length times weight, that gives you your points.
length times weight out of points out of 4 to 5 man teams for 10 teams for a 20-day Texas
Season.
gator hunting season.
Yeah. And length times weight gives you your points. So top 5 points, and you pay out. You do a payout of 50, 30, 20. 50% goes to first, 30 goes to it's invitation only. We invite you. You can't just show up with your own team.
But
You're doing 10 teams. You're invited.
But so you have 10 teams of some of the best trappers in Texas, which what we've talked about before, just to give a preview of what is to come with the podcast is we have some of the best trappers and hunters in the state of Texas sit down and talk to us, and we're gonna talk about rules, and we're gonna talk about regulations, and we're gonna talk about stipulations on how this thing is ran. But like right now, and just being brutally honest, in the alligator world for Texas and really Louisiana too, if you're a wild alligator hunter, is guiding hunts.
Yeah.
So you have 10 teams of 4 to 5 people hunting. You're going to have most of those gators going to be guided hunts. So you have people that buy in, that know they're going to be hunting an alligator. They buy in to the competition, right? Like,
so my thought is the goal of the tournament is to build, like, get the trappers. So you can take a guided hunt. Like, if I'm a trapper and Rance is a trapper, and we're on 2 separate teams, I can take me and you go on a hunt together. Now, since I'm a trapper and I get, between me and my 4 teammates, we may get 60 tags. I get to enter all 60 gators.
But your best 5.
But your best 5, length times weight. It don't matter if it's a guided hunt or not.
So
but if you're a hunter, that's what we're trying to figure out. There's a lot to it, and we're still trying to figure that out.
And we're going to figure that out throughout this process podcast. And there's a lot of people that we're going to have on here that get more than 5 tags, but that's what you're wanting per team. The best 5 gators that are brought per team will be the ones that are entered into this competition.
5 or 10.
5 or 10.
We originally we talked about 10 doing 10 gators, but
I think me personally, I think that's a lot better deal because there's such a limited amount, especially for Texas. And then you start if you bring in some really good trappers from Louisiana, which I think we will end up doing, you want to make it fair to the Texas people that are actually entered into this competition.
Well, I mean, the only thing that 10 gators does is, you got to think, 5, if you just get, you can kind of get lucky and catch 5 big gators. You got to really trap to get 10.
10 solid gators.
You got to really trap to get 10. But your 10th gator might be, which is a really freaking good alligator. It might be a 9-footer. It might be an 8-footer. That's a great gator. That's what people don't realize is, like, everybody wants to go on a gator hunt and they think 8 foot. Oh, well, god dang, 8 foot might be 25 years, 30 years old.
Yeah.
We're not talking about a 4-year-old whitetail. We're talking about a
30-year-old
old ass man.
Yeah. A dude, a straight up dude.
Yeah.
That's
mud on them tires.
Mud on them tires. Like, that motherfucker get muddy. But
muddy.
You bet.
I'm just talking, like, because a lot of these guys in Louisiana that you were talking about earlier, like, they get these outrageous amount of tags, But most of them, and you've been getting some gators from Louisiana, like, how many of them are actually, like, just stupid good gators? Not that many.
And they got bolts. They got the masses. So
They got the numbers.
it's
man.
it's when I was over there hunting with those guys, good friends of mine, Preston, Ryan, those guys, we were over there. We set out that many lines, but it was different because I felt like an idiot because, like, I'd look at a gator head and I'd be like, man, that's an 8-foot alligator. Like, and I know over here it's an 8-foot alligator. Like, when we look at it, we shoot it. Like, we look at the head and, like, it's a 9-foot alligator. You get over there, that's an 8-foot alligator. What? I'm like, nah, that's like 6 foot. No way. That's a 9 or a good 8-9 foot alligator. No. Kill it. 6 foot.
6 foot.
Like, big heads, man. Giant heads. And the only thing that I could think is just being just overpopulated. More gators, or just, bone structure is different, whatever. But to me, it's like a largemouth bass. You pull him up out of a stock pond, and he's skinny as hell, got a big giant head.
Yeah, we did that all the time. I'll catch a bass over at Carl Freeman's pond. I'll be like, man, that's some bitch right here. Has a 9-pound body on a 3-pound fucking bass. It's like, what the fuck is happening? Like,
Exactly.
you just ain't getting enough food. And maybe that's the deal with Texas, but
Well, it's the thing with Louisiana. That's what they're dealing with. Is they just got
they have too many.
abundance of alligators.
Yeah. And you're trying to, and you're really trying, Casey, to bring back the hunting aspect of Texas and
Trapping.
Trapping. Just trapping. And
Just be a
Louisiana.
trapper. If you're a trapper and you know how to catch good gators, enter this tournament because it's going to be worth it.
And I really think you're bringing some exciting things, in the gator hunting world. I think what you're bringing to the table is going to be very, very badass for anyone that's interested in hunting alligators and that has a true passion for it. I think it's awesome what you're going to bring out.
Well, and like I said, there's just not a whole lot of substance to it right now. But as we go, we're going to do some more podcasts, get a few more things lined out, and be able to talk a little bit more about it.
Yeah. I think everybody that does hunt alligators or wants to hunt alligators or wants to buy a hunt for an alligator will find it more interesting on doing this competition. We're yet to name it, but it's going to be very interesting.
It's going to be a badass event for sure. But I think we're about to probably wrap it up for the day. Had a damn good time visiting with these two individuals and Porter. Rance, I enjoyed the trash out of you, man. Casey, thanks for teaching me a lot about alligator hunting. Porter, you got anything to say?
No, I know a lot of people are asking Rance, when's your new album coming out? Because if anyone doesn't know, Rance May does play Texas country music, and if you want to find him, it's on Spotify, Apple Music, whatever the fuck platform. It's Rance May and the Coyotes.
Yeah, it's looking like it's gonna be right at the beginning of the year. Just gonna put it out.
2023.
Yeah, starting out with it.
2023. We'll start out with Rance May music. If anyone doesn't know, he plays music and he's an avid alligator hunter. So, y'all check him out. Casey Hedges, he is running Porter's Processing. We've shared some stuff on our story on Instagram, and I hope y'all find him on Instagram, Facebook, and we're gonna be working together hand in hand on expanding his brand, and hopefully people find y'all. More people, just not just hunters and people that are from around this area, but everywhere.
Right.
So
It's been a pleasure. I appreciate you coming out. I look forward to the next one.
we'll definitely be doing more.
For sure, man. We'll catch y'all next time. Thank y'all for hanging out.